Hi there, Leos, and welcome to your shadow reading with me, Priscilla B. So, first up, I have for you Stargate of Lyra. Expand your casual chakra, enter the unicorn kingdom. Okay, Leo, you are a unicorn. You are magical. You are beautiful. And I really feel like it is time to just enter into that beautiful Stargate, that beautiful unicorn magical kingdom. Um, there's a lot of stress factors surrounding your energy right now. So it's really important and crucial for you to just sort of separate yourself from that. Also, I have 10 of Pentacles, okay, with like the sacred scarab here. So this is definitely going to help, okay? The 10 of Pentacles is all about sort of like building that family committed foundation, okay? Um, Once you have just sort of released all the emotional pressure and all the emotional feeling of like you have to do something because someone else is like forcing your hand or whatever. This isn't that time right now, okay? But I also am picking up that you have to let go, Eight of Cups, emotionally, okay? You're that saying, throwing pearls at swine, okay? These people aren't going to understand why you're emotionally walking away. They're not going to understand why you are like Alice in the picture here, going down the rabbit hole, trying to resolve things, trying to figure things out for yourself. They're not going to understand this because they don't do this, Alice in Wonderland is like a perfect representation of doing shadow work because, it represents this like self inner self, this inner child that wants to go on a deep dive into a place of the unknown. And that's what the subconscious is. That's what the shadow realm is all about. That's what the dream world is about. You want to actually see what this is like physically, what this emotional walking away would look like, okay? And how it would play out. You're not going to avoid that, you're taking accountability. That's why you are having 10 of Pentacles. That's why you are having so many Pentacles. That's why you are having so much abundance. Okay? You're talking things out in a way that's materializing into real, actual abundance. Okay? And it's coming from a place of emotionally walking away from people who aren't materializing in the same 10 of Pentacles energy as you. Okay, you're creating something here. They're not. Okay, dirty offer and sorrow. Yeah, loss, grief, depression. Okay, you're not responsible for adults and how they act or how they behave, Leo. Okay, they're trying to give you a dirty offer because they know that they want control over you and your happiness and your emotional well-being. you know they want control over like every aspect of you, Leo. Okay, they want control over your pentacles, they want control over your emotions, so they're doing anything they can, and they're making these really dirty offers. They're like saying to you, oh, it would make me feel better if you had less pentacles, and then we can celebrate when you have less. How does that sound? That sounds like stupid, like dirty offer. Why would I even respond to something like lowballing me, man? Like, okay. Now, the reason for this is sorrow, loss, grief, and depression. Okay. So I actually believe mental illness is a real thing. And I actually support people who like want to admit that they have an illness and admit that they need help. I'm all about that. I am all for that. Given my own personal journey in life, mental illness is a real thing. And if not taken seriously by the people around you, then that can lead to some pretty destructive, horrible outcomes. Okay. I was just watching American Idol the other day, and this teenage girl was singing a song about another teenage girl who unfortunately was a victim of bullying and ended up taking her own life. And the mother of that girl who took her own life went on American Idol and wanted to introduce the other teenage girl who heard about this story in the news and was inspired to write a song about it. And That's a perfect example of community and how we can help one another through difficult times and challenges. And I feel like right now, Leo, you're not around people who are supporting each other and uplifting each other. I feel like right now, what's happening is people are using their loss, their grief, and their depression to make dirty offers to you. They think they're entitled to scapegoating you, Leo, and bullying you and harassing you because they're going through something. Okay? It's like that's what a bully does, though. A bully is going through a hard time, and um, they group up with other people going through a hard time, probably sharing in a similar, um, you know, um, tragedy. Okay, for example, and or maybe not even, and they're just coming at you and hurting you over and over again, repeatedly. Okay, Leo. Okay, the shadow work, all right, requires us to take a look in the mirror and say, I need to change course here. Like what I'm doing isn't working right now. It's not oh, let me attack someone nearby. They're in a vulnerable position, let me attack them. Hurt people hurt people. It's a real thing. So if you're going through a hard time, because I feel like, Leo, right now you're around people who are going through a difficult time, and instead of them seeking out guidance and support for what they're going through with their mental health, they're attacking you. They're projecting it onto you, Leo. They're blaming you for their grief when you're not responsible for their grief. Okay, so what you're going through, Leo, and what you're seeing outside in the world of, outside of your own, experiences here, you're seeing other people's experiences with, um, you know, similar tragedy, not exact, okay, but similar, you know. So, and you're like, wow, why are these people like lifting each other up and supporting each other in times of need, in times of hardship, but the people closest to me aren't doing that? Okay, Leo? So my heart goes out to you because they really are making a dirty offer. They're like, oh, well, if you want to be close to me, you have to be willing to accept that you're to blame for all my troubles. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, these people are not taking any accountability for their actions because that would require them to actually sit down and do shadow work, which they don't want to do. This would actually require them to look inward, and they don't want to do that. But you do that like every day, Leo. So props to you, applause to you. You know, Ten of Swords, yeah, betrayal. Okay. So I feel like, at the start of this year, there was like this time where, you felt like it was a new beginning. Like, yeah, things aren't perfect, but you're working towards better outcomes and better goals and better strategies. And then you were met with like hostility. You were met with people trying to just stab you in the back because this is a card of like grief and loss. They were dealing with the grief and loss. This again just reconfirming what we already know. They want you to play they want you. They don't even. It's not so much they want you to play a victim. It's more like they're a victim, but it's your fault, even though you're not doing anything at all except just sitting at home or something. Minding your own business, right? Going about your daily to-dos, right? It's not on your daily to-do list to hurt other people, but yet here we are, Leo. People are still attacking you, right? Okay. So, that being said, okay, I have some affirmations for you. I release the need for approval and embrace my true voice. Okay. Appetite here. Okay. This is you using your throat chakra. Okay. The element air, self-expression, communication, inspiration. Appetite is a beautiful gemstone known for helping you think more clearly and communicate better. Its name comes from the Greek word opate, meaning deceit, because people initially mistook it for other minerals such as aquamarine, tourmaline, and topaz. The energy of apatite assists you in discovering your genuine voice and expressing yourself without the fear of judgment. It simplifies, and this is so perfect because what's happening here is that like um people people keep saying that you're like this deceitful manipulator, Leo, but you aren't. And they keep trying to shift and change reality. They want to silence you. They don't want you to have a voice. They don't want you to have Ten of Pentacles. They don't want you to have emotional fulfillment because they don't have that within themselves. They're empty, like they're in the void right now and they want to drag you into the void with them. And you're like, no, that's not how this works. We all have to do our own shadow work. We all have to go into the darkness and face it on our own. And we can't be dragging other people into it, you know? So your thoughts, your feelings, yeah. A lot of people want to judge you right now, okay, Leo? Um, this becomes an ideal companion for the individuals facing the challenges in self-expression or those who feel unheard. Okay. During important conversations with public speaking and journaling is really important. Public speaking, obviously, this is an example of that. Where to put it, place it in a common area in your home where family or friends often gather. Again, that's like that Ten of Pentacles energy. You want to protect your family, your community, those that you love. Special care, prolonged exposure to direct sunlight may cause appetite to fade over time. I release the need for approval and embrace my true voice. Okay, so this is a lot happening all at once. You've got the Tower, the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Rings, the Jeweler. The jeweler wants to put the diamond back in the ring. They want to put the stone there. But you have to be willing to open yourself up, Leo, to showing your self-care and sharing your voice and expressing how you feel. The Queen of Pentacles and the Tower. You don't need to worry about your money, your finances, things like that, because like the Queen of Pentacles is pretty much like, I got this covered. Like, I know what I need to do, right? So the Tower card is also saying like somebody here who just like wants you to feel some sort of way about yourself is like, your reaction to that is lightning bolt to their, they built a foundation here that was not very stable to even begin with. Yeah, because you can see the tower's already pretty worn. It would only take just one lightning strike and then their whole tower crumbles. Because their ego and their pride was so like, it was like the only thing keeping the tower there to begin with, which is not a lot to go on. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to come out with my truth and I'm going to say what I feel. And they didn't really like that so much. But the Queen of Pentacles, she doesn't care if you don't like it or not. She's still going to say the truth. Okay? And the reality of it. And it's not someone else who is, doing the speaking for you. It's really you trusting yourself and believing in yourself, and, maybe this ring of power here, like from the Lord of the Rings. So, but maybe you are placing certain emphasis on what you're creating now. The jeweler, the King of Rings, you are the jeweler in your life. You're creating your own, expression of who you are. The jewelry that you wear is an expression of who you are. The way you dress, like the way you speak, the way you act, it's all an expression of who you are. So you are really right now like taking this into your own hands where basically going to invest in expressing yourself more to bring yourself about more abundance. And that's a very vulnerable thing that you're doing. And it's not going to make these people who are projecting all of their pain and suffering onto you, it's not going to make them feel any better. It's going to, they're going to be upset that you're doing this. They're going to be upset that you're creating this life for yourself separate from them. But at the same time, they don't want to have a life with you. But they still get mad when you try to create a life for yourself. So you can't really win these people over. Why would you waste your time with people like that anyway? But you are at least showing and presenting what you've learned and what's actually worked and what's made you successful. But they still can't really wrap their minds around it. They still can't really believe it because they don't live their life like that. And their life is very empty and very shallow. So 10 of Wands, new beginnings, a spark of creativity. You're willing to carry your own wands. You're willing to carry your own emotional, challenges here, problems here, situations here, but you're not going to be carrying it for everybody. You have a lot of empathy, new moon beginnings, you're stepping into your power here. You're reclaiming your voice, your authenticity. The tigers are, those spiritual messengers of, strength. Tell you really quick. Tiger, spiritual meaning. Strength, courage, and fearlessness. Okay, you're surrounded by people right now, Leo, who don't have strength internally, courage internally, and fearlessness. They live in a constant state of fear. They live in a constant state of the opposite of strength. I try to sugarcoat it for those that don't want to do the work. But yeah. Okay. This isn't about material work either. That's plays a role, but there's something else here. This emotional, it's a balance. It's a balance, really. And they're all out of whack. They're all out of balance. And they're trying to put all the emotional work and even material work on your shoulders, on your plate. And then when you say, no, I'm going to do this, they get mad about it, basically. So, yeah. All right. So with this new moon, this beginning here, I have for you the moon card. Okay. You're making yourself vulnerable again, but in a way, you're positioning yourself in a way that there's psychic activity happening in the paranormal, dreams, nighttime, an idea, thought, or thing inside your subconscious is ready to rise and be seen. Imagination, visions, dark magic. Okay? Someone is definitely using this dark magic energy. Okay? And that is the shadow energy. Okay? This dark energy that's being done right now is not you 10 of swords in your own life. Okay, this is someone doing 10 of swords actions, and this is creating this shadow energy where this person is there's deception here, there's mania, there's mental illness, there's crossing the line into madness, unable to find the line between sanity and insanity, blurred vision, entrapment, obscuring the truth, blaming other circumstances for inner turmoil. Okay, this is the reason this is happening right here. There's mystery, and you're trying to solve that mystery. All right. The lady here rises from lunar subconscious depths as the pregnant moon rises in the night sky. Two wolves howl, reflecting our animal instincts. Dual Gothic towers foreshadow the evolution of what is to come. What will be built? A path leads from the water to distant mountain. This is the path of completion, where rises is sure to become real. Sacred imagination is activated. Visions for future importance are seen in the mind's eye and felt in the body. Okay? This urge, desire, a new way can rise to the moon's reflected light. You're calling things out. You're seeing people express their shadow energy through deception, through mania, through mental illness. And you're like, okay, well, I'm not judging you. I know you're going through something, but you can't be putting judgment on someone else that's going through the same thing. And you can't be putting judgment on someone else who isn't experiencing those things and is actually like tapping into their psychic visions and their psychic activity. Okay, so yeah, the Ten of Wands. Okay, I'm going to tell you about that. This Ten of Wands. A goal achieved, a cycle complete, gathering time, relax, a plan for the future. Time for renewal, a job well done, a new cycle awaits. Rest now. The shadow energy says, does the weight of the world rest on your shoulders? No, it doesn't, Leo. But these other people want you to think it does. Do you feel the need to be on all the time? Are you a people pleaser? What is the payoff you receive? How can you change this? Okay, how can you change always needing to be on all the time? Are you a people pleaser? What is the payoff you receive? How can you change this? Okay, if the payoff is losing your spark and your creativity and not being able to rest, not being able to get the time you need, okay, then you gotta separate yourself a little bit from them. Not even just a little bit, like a lot. Okay, the Queen of Cups, the healer energy. Okay, this is the time for you to feel worthiness. Okay, for you to feel appreciated. Okay, we've got the Lover card with the Swan energy. Okay, we've got the White Swan, the power of divine graces within you. Okay, don't forget about this. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of self-love and self-care. The problem is you're dealing with people who are constantly using shadow energy as like a weapon. It's not meant to be used as a weapon. It's meant to awaken you and make you aware of what's going on. But not to actually do not so nice things to people because of the shadow energy. That's really what it means. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. White Swan. You've got the power, you've got the courage, and then the divine grace. This is about spiritual purity, grace, and transformation. It represents the journey from a cygnet to an adult swan, okay, mirroring personal growth and evolution. The bird's pure white color symbolizes clarity and innocence, urging individuals to maintain positive thoughts and intentions. Okay? Seek inner peace amid the chaos. Okay, trust and intuition, embrace authenticity, self-reflection, and deeper connection with others. In various cultures, white swans embody them of love, beauty, and transformation, enriching their spiritual and symbolic meanings. Okay, so that's what you're doing right now. Is you're channeling that in right now. So keep doing that. Keep channeling in your self-love, your self-discovery, because the other energies around you are trying to put their shadow work, their emotional stuff on your shoulders. They're also trying to have you do the work for them for free. Okay. And I mean that like emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of it. Okay. These people are dealing with depression and grief and mania, and they're not being making rational sense right now. Okay. So, if you can't really help them if they're like people around you that that you can't really get through to them, and maybe you've tried to get through to them and it's only made your life worse because they are keep treating you so badly. So you have to just kind of get away from all that right now. And you have your unicorn magic here, you know going to that more happy place in your life, the more beautiful place in your life. Okay. um they definitely want you like in a cave, and they're definitely trying to stop your expression, and they're definitely trying to persecute you. Share your voice, come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. They don't want you to express yourself, Leo, but you're going to do it anyway. And they want you to stay in that cave alone, isolated, but you're going to come out of that cave and share your voice anyway, regardless, Leo. So just keep doing that, okay? Um, yeah, because you have a lot of blessings, you have a lot of abundance coming your way. All right. That's my message for you, Leos. Love and light always. Bye.